Chilling tales for dark nights.
Want to make sure you never miss a Chilling Tales for Dark Nights video again? Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to turn on notifications.
Now, my big brother, Sean, was 10 years older than me and about 25 years uglier than me. But we lived with our parents in a place called Garfield, Virginia, which is about 40 miles southwest of D.C., Chocolate City. Now, when Sean was in his teens, he and my parents, they didn't really get along at all. And after he graduated high school, he got up out of there. Now, I didn't see or hear from him for 3 years. And then in 95, my parents died. And they were driving home from a party at a friend's house when the bridge they was on collapsed, due to like some structural failure or whatever. Now, both my parents were only children, and they families. So, both my mama and her parents and my daddy, mama, they had passed away by the time I was 7. And my daddy was in a nursing home with Alzheimer's. So I was sent to live with Sean because that was the only option. Now, Sean lived in this rundown trailer park, and it was just, sat between the junkyard and the railroad tracks and the interstate overpass behind it. Now, my brother's trailer was near the trailer park entrance, and he lived with his girlfriend named Victoria or Vicky, and that's what she liked to be called. Now, Vicky stood, man, she was tall, man. She was like 6'3", and had long, she had like long hair, but it was like, but she knew how to make it like look like a big lion mane, man. Like this girl had like a big, one of them, like the big old fro, man. And but it kind of hung down though. It wasn't like a big stick up in the afro. It was like a lion mane, man. That girl was fine, man. I don't know what she was doing with my broke trailer park brother, but that girl was fine. And she had, medium, kind of like caramel skin color. Had these dark eyes, man, and man, that girl had some shape on her, man. Well, that girl had more curves than a mountainside road, man. Now, despite the social worker's apprehension, my brother told her that everything was going to be fine and that the trailer would be my home temporarily. And he had just started this new job that paid more than his old one, and that he and Vicky were like looking to move once they had enough money to put down on a decent house. Now, my brother, he could put on a charm or whatever and smooth talk folks whenever he wanted to. And, with the power of persuasion he had, he can convince a politician to change his or her political views. If that social worker only knew what I would, be put through, she would have taken me away from Sean and Vicky as fast as possible. But she didn't know, which is why I'm telling you this story. If she did know, then I wouldn't have a story to tell you. But anyway, I told you, I ain't gonna give it away. Y'all just gotta sit down and wait till I get there. Now, you see, there was a reason why I didn't hear from Sean despite us being somewhat close. Sean and his girlfriend Vicky were criminals wanted in the states of Virginia, Maryland, West Virginia, and Ohio, and were dubbed the Black Bonnie and Clyde. And they committed a bunch of crimes using my brother's red 1986 Cadillac Fleetwood. Hey man, Fleetwood, I wish I had me a Fleetwood right by now, man. If I could pick any car, it'd be a Ferrari. But after that Ferrari, I want me a Fleetwood, man. And especially like an old Cadillac hearse. Man, if I got an old Cadillac hearse, I'll ride that mug around all day, be scaring the mess up out of folk, man. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna let y'all know when I get it, man. I'm gonna put it up on my page or something. When I get my Cadillac hearse, I'm gonna put it on my page, and I'm gonna do like just videos of me riding around in normal places in a hearse and freaking people out. Yeah, so I'll let y'all know when I get it. But anyway, so and I wasn't there for very long when my brother revealed his true colors. It had started out when he offered to take me out for some ice cream. And, I'm still grieving the loss of my parents and whatever, but I accepted. And Vicky came along. We stopped by a local little Dairy Queen, and I got my favorite, the cherry dip cone with chocolate ice cream on it. Now, while I was enjoying my ice cream in the back seat, Sean said he and Vicky needed to drop by the bank. And I ain't think nothing of it, and I just enjoyed, my time out. Now, when they pulled into the parking lot of the Old Dominion Bank and Trust, Sean parked the car but left the car running and the keys in the ignition. Now, I should have known something was up, but I was too naive at the time and didn't seem to notice the gym bag Sean and Vicky were carrying when they left the car. I just sat in the back seat munching away at the cone, and then several minutes later, I heard a loud ringing sound coming from inside the bank. Now, a little bit later, Sean and Vicky came out, the door with their bags. And before I could say anything, they jumped in the car, tossing the bags in the back seat, and peeled up out of there. Now, as we sped down the highway, I looked into the bags, and I seen it was full of money. Now, I looked in the other one, saw the same thing. So I looked at my brother, and he weaving in and out of traffic. And I'm like, did you and Vicky just rob the bank? And I already knew the answer, but I'm like, y'all just robbed the bank? And now, looking back on it, the real horror here is that he robbed the bank and didn't even let me know. I would have liked to get my little cut, man. I could have watched out or something. I could have been a lookout, man. And, I could have hollered or something. You could have cut me in. You ain't had to give me a whole third, but, a couple of dollars, a little bit, put a little college fund away for me or something, Anyway. He just simply nodded, just calmly nodded his head and kept driving. Now, Vicky turned to me with this smile, like a evil smile, man, and said, "You brother and me are criminals. We've robbed banks, gas stations, check cash in places, and just about any place where they keep a lot of cash from Baltimore all the way to Toledo." And just then, Vicky's expression and attitude turned real evil, and her voice got real hard and said, "You are now part of our little gang, whether you like it or not. And I want no complaints up out of you, you little punk. You understand me?" I said, "Yes, Miss Vicky, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Miss Vicky." Miss Vicky was so fine. I ain't care what Miss Vicky said to me. If she said I'm part of the gang, I'm part of the gang, man. So just then I heard the sounds of sirens and saw the flash of some blue lights. Now Sean get the cussing and stuff, man, and he turned to Vicky. "Them pigs on our tail, baby. Take care of them now. Come on, take care of them. Will you take care of them, love bunny?" Now Vicky flashed me another evil smile and turned to Sean and said, "I got you, sugar." And she gave him a quick little peck on the cheek. I'm like, man, is y'all sitting here casually do y'all not understand that it's police after y'all? So, and then she rolled the window down and leaned out, and she pulled out. And she get to letting that thing loose, man. Fly, 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 fly. I covered my ears and put my head down. And I guess when she started shooting, the cop must have backed off of her or whatever. And we eventually got away and drove across the state line into Maryland. Now, we eventually stopped at this little small motel outside of Frederick where my brother checked us in under some fake names or whatever. And when we got to our room, Sean and Vicky sat on one of the beds counting the money. And when we got to our room, Sean and Vicky sat on one of the beds counting the money up. And I don't remember the amount it was, but it was a lot, man. My brother and his girlfriend celebrated and was bragging and stuff. And I wanted to run, man. Find the phone, call 12. And I was still in shock, man. And my mind was clouded. And for a whole year, it was just one armed robbery after another, man. A new city, a town, man. A new set of fake names. Whatever it took, man. I was beginning to forget who I actually was, man. We stayed in one town for a month or so, living in trailer parks, rundown motels, scoping out different banks, which one the best to hit, which one the best to make a move on, all that type of stuff. And when they finally got it right, they'd go and make their move or whatever. And then we'd be back on the run again. And to make things worse, I was forced to participate, man. They even gave me a gun, man. And I still recall my first murder, man. The first time I was forced to, commit a murder, man. And Sean and Vicky had already they already been killing mugs, man. So now they done brought me into, they done brought me into a whole nother world. It's a whole different world from robbing a bank to killing somebody, man. We was robbing this bank in Portsmouth, Ohio, Midwest Bank, I think it was. And bank guard tried to stop Sean and Vicky, but Sean shot the man in the stomach. Now he turned to me and told me, finish him. And I looked down at the guard holding his stomach, man. I ain't want to shoot him, man, but Sean kept, screaming at me. I heard the sirens coming, and he screaming, shoot him now. So, what's the matter with you, man? You scared or something, bro? You scared? And, I remember Vicky saying through that evil little smile of hers, man, I used to think Vicky was fine, but now I was starting to hate Vicky, man. And I aimed the gun out of my hand, shaking and trembling, man. And the man looked at me. You could just tell by his eyes he was saying, please, man. And I closed my eyes and I pulled that trigger, man. And I opened my eyes and I seen that bullet hit him, man, right through the neck, man. Right through the neck. And that man laid there on the floor, just barely moving, man. Not moving. And my brother said, there you go. There you go. I knew you had it in you, bro. Let's get up out of here. And I just see the police coming up the street, man. And in total, man, I was forced to kill 5 people against my will. And the images of their faces still, haunt my I ain't gonna say dreams, nightmares. Ain't no such thing as regular dreams for me no more. And finally, I couldn't stand it no more, man. And we robbing at Lake Erie Savings and Loan in Cleveland. And as usual, Sean and Vicky, man, they up there with the tellers and stuff. And while I covered the only 2 other people in the bank on a Saturday morning, a couple in their early 60s. And the thought of killing them, man, I just couldn't take it. Not this time, man. And I decided to put an end to Sean and Vicky criminal activity once and for all, man. So I put my fingers to my lips and I gave a low shh before turning to Sean, my only relative. But to me, he wasn't my brother no more. I aimed my gun, I shot my brother right in the back of the dome, man. And Sean fell to the floor in front of the young brunette woman who, stood there frozen to the spot. And Vicky turned and saw Sean, and she looked at me, and them dark eyes became even darker. And her nose flared up, and she said, you little And before she can, get that thing out, pop, pop, I put 2 right through that girl's chest. And I dropped the gun. I sat on the floor just crying, man. Waiting for the police to get there, and they found me, man, crying my eyes out, like my whole, like my mama just got killed and right in front of me. I'm crying, man. And the old folks, the old couple, they sat there with me, just holding on to me, man, holding me like they was my parents, man. I told the police everything. And more. And a child psychologist was brought in and he told me, he confirmed that I wasn't doing it on my own accord, and I wasn't no psychopath or anything that would need a lot of therapy, but I would need a lot of therapy for years to come. So I wasn't charged. And afterwards, that same couple I spared at the bank took me in and adopted me, since they were never able to have children of their own. And I'm all grown up now with a good job, a wife, and 2 kids of my own. But I still have issues that'll never go away. To this day, I don't even walk into a bank. Even the one where me and my wife got our accounts at. And if I need to do any banking, I just use the drive-up window of the ATM, because just the sight of a bank lobby is enough to have, make me have some severe panic attacks. And every now and then, I get that itch, especially when holiday time come around and kids be wanting that new Xbox and new PlayStation. I start getting that itch, man. But that's an itch I ain't gonna scratch though, Saul, because I ain't trying to do that time.
Chilling tales for dark